Hello, guys. Nat Blue here with part two of my movie musical tier list. So, let's catch up a little bit on what happened in part one. First and foremost, I will not be singing during this tier list because I am too scared to do that. I don't sing in front of people, even in my personal life. Secondly, these are all musicals that were made into movies. We are going to have 10 new ones. And then if I get around to it, I'll eventually do a part three with movies I haven't watched yet, which means I would need to watch another 10 musicals, which is a little daunting. Third, I will not be putting in any songs from the musicals into the video because I do not want to get a copyright strike on my channel. So I'm sorry about that. I would love to, but some of these companies can be a little bit litigious, and I don't want to deal with videos possibly being taken down and things along those lines. So I do want to start this video by recapping where we put everything in part one. So we are going to switch over to that screen. S tier, we have Happy Feet 2 and Sweeney Todd. A tier, we have The Greatest Showman. B tier, we have Happy Feet 1. C tier is Into the Woods, High School Musical 2, and The Sound of Music. D tier is High School Musical, and F tier is High School Musical 3 and Camp Rock. These are pretty in order according to how much I like them. Now, to kick us off with the second half of this tier list, we have Sing. Sing is an animated movie, I think, by Illumination Studios, and I'm not going to double check that, so hopefully I'm correct. About a group of animals that are musically inclined and trying to save a theater with like a performance. Taron Egerton knocked it out of the park with this. His rendition of I'm Still Standing is my favorite song in the movie, and it's something that I've listened to a few times since watching this movie. Hallelujah by Tori Kelly was incredible. Seth MacFarlane's rendition of My Way was great. I love Frank Sinatra, and I think Seth MacFarlane really did this song justice. The movie overall was just really good. The plot and everything were great. The voice acting was solid, and I think they picked an incredible cast for this movie. So overall, I would put Sing into A tier. This is a movie I've watched a couple of times, which is abnormal for me, but I do have nieces, and they love this movie. Then we have Sing 2. So Sing 2, obviously the successor to the last one. Where the Streets Have No Name was a solid song, and a great choice for a group song in the movie. There's Nothing Holding Me Back is solid. Could Have Been Me by Halsey is incredible. Picking Halsey for this movie was such a good choice. I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For was absolutely amazing. It's my favorite song in the movie. Scarlett Johansson and Bono crushed it. I don't like the movie or the music choices as well as I did the first movie, but I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For pulled a lot of weight for me, so this is still going to go into B tier. I think this was still a great movie. Then we have Tick Tick Boom. Tick Tick Boom is a movie with Andrew Garfield about the writer of Rent, which is Jonathan Larson. This was a really good movie. I was pleasantly surprised by how well Andrew Garfield did here. I didn't know Andrew Garfield could sing. And turns out, not only can he sing, he's an incredible singer. 3090 is such a good song. Therapy was a good part of the movie and a great song. Why is a powerful scene and my favorite song from the movie. It made me cry like a baby. I am secure enough to say that I cry sometimes during movies, and you know what? That's okay. If you cry during movies, don't be ashamed of that. From what I've heard, Andrew Garfield did perform live or did perform Why live instead of lip syncing, which is even more impressive. Louder Than Words is a banger. Overall, I would give this an A tier. This was such a good movie. And honestly, it would probably go into S, but there were some points of the movie where I was just a little bit bored. I'll be honest, I think it could have been a little bit shorter than it was. Then we have Annie. Now, this is the original Annie. This is the 1982 Annie because I haven't seen any of the newer ones. And from what I understand, there's a few newer ones. So I don't know how I haven't seen them yet, but I haven't. And that's okay. So, Tomorrow is such an amazing song. It's a Hard Knock Life has no right being so good. I quote that movie way too often. Mostly, if something minorly inconveniences me, I'll look at my friends and say, it's a Hard Knock Life for us. It's certainly my favorite song from the movie. You're Never Fully Dressed Without a Smile is a good song. I didn't love this movie, but overall, I would give it a B, which is still a solid rating. And then we have The Wizard of Oz. So, The Wizard of Oz, Over the Rainbow is iconic for a reason. It is a really good song. Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead is hilarious to me because it's a song where they are celebrating that a house fell on somebody. And that is so ridiculous, but I love that. I love the Lollipop Guild. Not only the singing, but the overall group was great. If I Only Had a Brain was my favorite song in the movie. It was such a good song. The cinematography is very iconic. The movie overall is very iconic. I'm going to put this into A tier. I like The Wizard of Oz. I love the characters, and I think that's pulling most of the weight here for me. The Wicked Witch is great. The entire entourage that is with Dorothy is incredible. Toto's great. The tornado scene was really cool. Just a great movie. Then we have Mary Poppins. Now, this is a similar issue to what I have with Annie. This is the original Mary Poppins. And this is the original Mary Poppins because I haven't seen the new ones. From what I understand, Emily Blunt was Mary Poppins, and I haven't watched it. That was like 7 years ago, and I just haven't seen the movie. A Spoonful of Sugar is great. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is such a long word, but it is a solid song. I think I said it wrong. Don't correct me in the comments. Don't come for me. It was such an iconic song that everybody in school was trying to spell that word when we were younger. Stay Awake is such a good way to get kids to fall asleep, which I love. Overall, I would put this into C tier. I didn't fall in love with the movie. There's some incredible parts of it. I just couldn't get hooked, which probably mostly my fault. Then we have Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Every song in this movie is at least decent. The Candyman is such an underrated song. I don't hear anybody talking about it, but it was such a good song for the movie. And the Candyman who was singing did a great job. A Golden Ticket is a good song. Although it does show his grandpa was more mobile than he was given off, than he was letting on, I guess I should say. He dances around this room and he's been bedridden. So kind of messed up on his part. Pure Imagination is not only my favorite song from the movie, but one of my favorite songs from musicals overall. I love Pure Imagination. The Oompa Loompa songs are all bangers. The boat ride is terrifying and I love it. The entire movie is good. This, like every other Willy Wonka movie, shows you how terrifying Willy Wonka is as a character. And each movie does it slightly different than the others. This one, I think it really shows him as this eccentric genius that's really good at making candy, but not great at the social interactions. I would give this an S tier. This is one of my favorite movies on this list. Just an incredible movie that I have gone back to so many times. Then we have Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Before I give criticism to this movie, I understand that fans of the book series do really enjoy this movie. It is more accurate to the original book than Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is. I hate the name of it. I wish Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was a sequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory about Charlie taking over the chocolate factory. But I understand that's also the original name of the book is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The Oompa Loompa songs, I guess, are pretty much pulled directly from the book. But that doesn't mean I enjoyed this movie, and I want to talk about it a little bit. Wonka's welcome song is pretty good. It's a great opening to the movie. The Augustus Gloop song sang by the Oompa Loompas was really good. I wasn't a fan of the effect on the Oompa Loompas' voices during Violet Beauregard's song. I do enjoy that the Oompa Loompas are purely there to diss kids, but I don't love that they all have the exact same face either. It kind of took me out of the movie a bit. Overall, I wasn't a huge fan of this movie. Now, the terrifying Willy Wonka aspect in this was that he's just an incredibly creepy antisocial guy. I didn't like all of the flashbacks with his father. And like I said, I do understand that this is more accurate to the original story than Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but sometimes there's reasons to change an original story. And I think this is a C tier movie. Leading on with the Wonka stuff is the movie Wonka. This was with Timothy Chalamet. I think this came out last year. A Hat Full of Dreams was great. I'm not a fan of Scrub Scrub, but that is mostly my friend Joe's fault. He would not stop repeating Scrub Scrub for like 2 months after we saw this movie together. You've Never Had Chocolate Like This captures the whimsy of Wonka really well. For a Moment was a solid song, and I could understand why some people might have that as their favorite song. Hugh Grant did a great job as an Oompa Loompa, and his song was great. A World of Your Own was a great song, and I loved the sequence inside of that shop. That was such a cool looking interior. And kind of a good predecessor to like the Wonka factory. Chalamet's rendition of Pure Imagination almost made me cry. That was such a good homage to the original while still putting his own little spin on it. Mostly the scene was very tear-jerking also. Chalamet just knocked it out of the park as Willy Wonka. He did a great job. I will say the terrifying thing here is he is still crazy. He's very optimistic. But I think this version of Wonka is an actual wizard. He does magic in this movie. 100% he does magic in this movie. He has this hat that he pulls stuff out of, and it's not a magic trick because how could it be? Most of the hat tricks are like there's a secret compartment or there's a table under a hat for some insider knowledge on magic tricks. I wanted to be a magician at one point in my life, but that's besides the point. He is flipping over his hat and pulling out like massive objects. That shouldn't be how that works. And his cane is kind of magical, but I don't know. I think this movie did a great job of pretty much being a predecessor to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. His Wonka gave off Gene Wilder vibes. His costume kind of looked like the Gene Wilder Wonka if he was younger. I do love that his like coat was kind of falling apart and everything. And overall, this was just such an incredible movie, and I can't sing its praises enough. I'm also putting this into S tier. I loved Wonka. This was such a good experience. I think they did a great job of staying true to the character, and it was a good spin on a tale that's already been told twice. And then lastly, we have Dr. Horrible Sing Along Blog. This is a movie that I don't hear enough people talking about. This had Neil Patrick Harris, Nathan Fillion, and Felicia Day in it, and people still aren't talking about it. It is about a supervillain that's kind of trying to change his ways a little bit. At least that's what it seems like. The entire cast did an incredible job. Unlike most of the musicals on this tier list, this is one that I actually have a lot of the songs in my current playlist. There's some songs that I have in a playlist of songs that I sing to myself in the car. So, Breezeway slaps. A Man's Gotta Do is incredible. My Eyes is such a great song and one of my favorites from this movie. Brand New Day is an absolute bop and goes much harder than it needed to. Nathan Fillion cooked with Everyone's a Hero. Slipping is such a great villain song and probably my favorite song in the movie. Everything You Ever is such a powerful song to end the movie with, and I was a big fan. Overall, I'm giving this movie S tier. Nathan Fillion and Felicia Day crushed it. Neil Patrick Harris is one of my favorite actors. Just overall, I love everything this man does. and he knocked it out of the park. And it gives that indie movie kind of vibe. So if you haven't seen Dr. Horrible's sing along blog, I definitely recommend it. It is such a good movie. That is my tier list for the first 20 musicals I've watched. So to recap a little bit, S tier is Happy Feet 2, Sweeney Todd, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Wonka, and Dr. Horrible's sing along blog. I think that's a good order for those. Then in A tier, we have The Greatest Showman, Sing, Tick Tick Boom, and The Wizard of Oz. Those are all movies I would still recommend, but they're not like my favorite musicals. B tier, sadly, Happy Feet 1's on here. Happy Feet 1 means a lot to me, but after rewatching and re-listening to the songs, I don't think it was as great as I remembered it being. Sing 2 and Annie. And then C tier is Into the Woods, High School Musical 2, The Sound of Music, Mary Poppins, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. D tier is High School Musical. And as they should be, F tier is High School Musical 3 and Camp Rock. Those movies kind of just sucked. If there are any musicals that you guys would recommend me watching, leave a comment. I have a lot to catch up on, and I completely understand that. I somehow still haven't watched Wicked, Part 1, and I still need to watch Hamilton, Rent, Grease, all of those, Footloose. I haven't watched any of those movies. That one with Hugh Jackman in it, where Les Mis, that's what it is. I need to watch all of those. So if you have any musicals that you would recommend me watching, leave a comment. I am going to do another video in the near future of Disney animated musicals, but I have to re-listen to those soundtracks, and that's going to take me a long time. And I have to watch a few more movies. I haven't seen Princess and the Frog, Moana 2, Angled. There's a few animated movies there that I need to catch up on before making that tier list because I think they should probably be in the tier list. If there are any musicals that you disagree with me on or any questions that you have since this video was not as in depth as part one, or there's anything you agree with me on and you just want to have a chat, you can also leave a comment. Sometimes positivity in the comments is nice for my mental health. So I always appreciate a positive comment. If you guys did like this video, please leave a like. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. I don't do a lot of musical content. I've only done the 2 tier list videos, but I do a lot of TTRPG content and talk about some other naughty subjects. And I think there's some crossover with musical nerds and tabletop nerds. So definitely recommend you checking those videos out. I also have a gaming channel that I post on once a week. I am currently posting split fiction videos. So if you're interested in that, go check that out too. I think the gaming channel is a lot of fun. This used to be a gaming channel, but it was a lot of work. So I just made a separate channel for whatever reason. Other than that, guys, I hope everybody is having an amazing day. And until next time, guys, peace.